Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another season of Zenith Online Racing. I am your host, Gourd Sauce. Not sure if I have a streaming partner tonight, so I may be alone with you guys, but that's alright. Good day. Thank you, Jason, for tuning in. I don't have any sound. Not sure what is up with that. Let's check that out. Interesting. There we go. Sound's back. Beautiful. But yeah, welcome to the. Let's try it. All right, good. That's good. We don't need the car sounds to be too loud. But anyways, welcome to the first race in a new season, the 10th season of Zenith Online Racing. Very good run that the league has had so far. Not the biggest lobby for tonight, but you know, people have lives and stuff, so we can't expect everyone to make it on quick occasion. But you know what? At least I saw a bunch of people that declined the race, so at least we have people that are actually answering and not just, you know, ignoring that there's a race, so that's all good. Anyways, while our first man on track, Spider-Man, is about to start his first flying lap, let's get some introductions underway, for the drivers that are here at least. Yeah, absolutely, Bigga. 6 people actually decided to answer, so, you know, 11 car grid, 6 people didn't answer, 17 car grid, and I'm sure some people might jump in late, you never know. I do believe Coxie is joining late as well. But let's get some introductions underway. Spider-Man fan, pretty regular driver around ZOR these parts. He's been in the league for a while. GP Colin, of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself. He commentates with our man Bigga on Tier 1 every Monday. Northern Canuck, another regular. He didn't get to race too much in F122, which is understandable. Gord, look at Discord. I will do that, Zercity. LaRodri is a new driver to the league, but I have seen him in other leagues that I've raced in, so good to see him around. Hightower, another regular. Vano joined last season. Very good driver, very clean. Villeneuve as well, great driver. Vinny, another regular. Tilwick, new this season. Willing, I'm sure he's going to want to put on a good show for us. I've seen him in other leagues as well. Soy Loco, of course, another regular. And Loki, a new driver. So, good mix of experienced drivers and new drivers to the league. So I'm excited to see what everyone has in store for us. As Spider-Man just finishes his lap of 1:27.8. Let me see, what did Zercity say? Zercity wants to join me on the comms. Absolutely. I believe I have Zercity added as well. Let's see. I do. Let's add him to the party. Let's add the man to the ZOR comms voice chat. Never mind, he joined on his own. Beautiful.
Here I am.
What is up, my man? How are you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm good. I didn't expect to have a buddy tonight, so it'll be nice to actually be able to talk to someone and not be alone.
Yep, definitely. You might send me an invite to the lobby.
Yeah, you kind of need that, eh? Let me send you one right now. There you are.
Pretty low lobby, am I correct?
I mean, it's all right. There were a lot of people that checked out because the season did come up kind of out of nowhere. Like it did start up pretty quickly, so a lot of people didn't have like a crazy notice if they had things planned. But I'm sure, I mean, we had 6 people check out, and I believe Coxie is joining in late. So, you know, if all those drivers race next week, that's like an 18-car grid, so.
Yeah.
Echo on voice from Zercity. Apparently.
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me go ahead and leave and rejoin really quick.
Roger that. So while Xercity fixes his issue, we had a couple laps set from our man Northern Canuck with a 127.2. That is provisional pole. Spider-Man holds on to P2 at his lap. Tilwick with a 127.96. Rodri with a 128.9. And Soy Loco with a 129.4. I'm sure a bunch of those guys are going to go quicker than that.
Is there any echo now?
I will have to wait for the chat to answer, as I don't hear an echo from you.
Okay, good. Really impressive lap time for the Mercedes 2022.
That is a very quick lap, actually.
Followed by the Aston in P2.
Yep. Looks like it's sounded good now. Beautiful. So, I am going to go on board with Villeneuve. I believe Villeneuve is on a lap right now in the Williams. Very good looking machine. Now, honestly, I'm not really sure who's going to be a favorite this season. A lot of these guys, from what I know of them, are like pretty close on pace. Still echo. Yeah. Maybe you have to disable game chat.
See if I can figure something out here.
It's an echo only from Xercity, Jason? And Villeneuve, as I was saying, a 126.7. That is a provisional pole by 5/10. Very quick lap from the Canadian man himself. And I believe GP is the only man on a flying lap. We will stay on board with him. Yeah, only Xercity. Interesting. Actually, I'm going to bring up the stream on my other monitor so I can keep tabs on chat through there. There we go. So while Xercity fixes his apparent mic issues, we will follow along GP as he heads towards Cops. What kind of sector is the man put in? I did not pay attention. We will see how he hits Cops and then Maggots and Baggots. Oh, and that's an invalidate from GP on Cops. Goes a little wide, and that is going to have to make him slow down. He's not going to have enough ERS to save for another lap. We will have to ask the chat. Chat, is there a echo for Xercity now?
So I do have another headset, but I'll have to go get it.
I don't hear an echo from you, so I'm not sure what's causing it. And that appears... yeah, weird. Huh. I mean, maybe you can try your other mic, Xercity. I'm not entirely sure what's causing it. You might be in... actually, you're in a party chat, so game chat wouldn't be the issue either. Interesting.
Alright, well, let me leave real quick to go
yeah.
get my other headset. Alright.
Yeah, no worries. So, while Xercity heads to fix his issues, the first laps of qualifying appear to be finished. It's not horrific, yeah. But while that's going on, we're going to be on board with Spider-Man Fan, the Aston Martin driver who's about to start his second qualifying lap. See if he's going to be able to try and take back pole position from Villeneuve. And as we say this, GP Colin, Vano, and Vinny will all have to set laps of their own still. Laps from Loki, Soy, Rodri, and Hightower I expect will be a little bit quicker. All very skilled drivers in this tier, so I expect the... close the menus. Okay, big... Coxie needs an invite. I believe I do have Coxie added, so I will send him an invite if Soy Loco has not sent him one. Where is the man? There he is.
Alright.
I cannot send Coxie an invite. Interesting.
Is there any echo now?
Is there an echo, chat? Oh, Spider-Man appears to have backed out from his lap. Did not like what he was doing. It looks like he invalidated, so understandably from him. While we say that, everyone is either in the pits or on an outlap. Here comes Hightower in the Mercedes machine. What can he do for us? Vano is also on a lap in the Alpine. He is actually about to finish his lap, so we'll stay on board with him. See how this goes. Nice and tight, no curb. Throttle input strong through the final corner. What is he going to set? Ooh, only a 130. He might have had some issues throughout the lap, but we'll head back to Hightower, who I expect to be probably one of the favorites. He's pretty experienced in ZOR itself. Same for drivers like Soy Loco and GP, who I expect will be near the front of the field, if I were to guess. Here comes Hightower through Cops. That's not invalidate, but he's probably going to lose a bunch of time going wide there. Through Maggots and Beckett's. Nice and clean. Good throttle input. No invalidation. Up 7/10. That's going to be a good lap. He can probably gain more time through these final few corners.
Definitely going to gain a lot of time in that final corner, definitely.
Absolutely. Let's see what the Mercedes driver can do. Rounding the penultimate corner, he is going to set a 127.1, up a second and 5/10. That puts him net P2 right in front of his teammate Northern Canuck. Very good showing from the Mercedes drivers as we speak, and Hightower should have enough time to actually set another lap if he chooses. Going through.
Contention. Yeah, Hightower is definitely in contention for provisional pole here.
Absolutely, and GP finishing his lap as well, going through the penultimate corners. This looks like a very good lap from GP. It's going to put him probably P5? P6, a 128.0. GP himself also has enough time to set another lap if he gets a little bit of a hurry on. We do have a Ferrari of Vinny who's just about to finish his lap, but it looked like he invalidated it, so he's starting another one.
6-6.
Yeah, what?
Provisional pole, actually.
That would have been provisional pole, but he invalidated, so Vinny, just get a hurry on, get into the pits.
Look at one of the field, actually. His field line actually flashing.
And I just realized Northern Canuck did improve his lap, but only 6/100ths, so he's down on his teammate by 5 thousandths.
Sure, close between the two Mercedes.
Yeah. It looks like he's slowing down to let an Alpine by. So who's on a lap? It looks like Vano just started a lap, so we'll stay on board with the Alpine driver.
To the south, actually, is sector 1.
As he rounds, headed towards Cops. Apparently your mic is just a little bit low, City, if you want to bump it up a little bit in your settings, just so people can hear you better. Echo's gone, though, so that's good. Vano, good throttle input through Baggett's and Beckett's. Could have been a little quicker, but he's up 4/10.
Slightly under 4/10, actually, so...
Unfortunately, he'll have to... Ooh, he did go a little deep. No invalidation, though, which is good. He'll have to improve by He'll have to improve by a second and 2/10 to even challenge for P9. Up 7/10. That's still going to keep him P9.
Still 6/10 down from P8 though.
Yep, and our provisional pole sitter, currently Villeneuve, on his final lap as he rounds Sector 1, down only 400, so a lot of time still to make up for the Williams driver. Plenty of track to still make that up. And it looks like Vinny is not going to set a lap, unfortunately. Vinny looked like he had, and Soy Loco, a 1:26.4. That is the lap that I would expect to see from the McLaren driver. So now, pressure on Villeneuve. Can he gain enough time in his lap to get back provisional pole?
Yeah, nearly 3.5 tenths.
I didn't quite catch the delta that he was down, but he's going through the final sector now. The lap has looked very good.
He is down on the lap, unfortunately.
A 1:26.6 goes up 7 thousandths, not enough to challenge Soy Loco. Who's got it in the tank to get that lap back? Looks like Spider-Man is on an out lap. He still has full ERS.
Oh, never mind. Looks like he gave up.
It looks like, I mean, he's going to have enough time to go for another lap right at the end, which is, I assume, is what he's going to do. The people in the pit lane will probably not be setting another lap. GP is also on an out lap relatively further back from Spider-Man. He should still have plenty of time to get back to the start straight. Same for Loki. Actually, Loki is on a lap apparently. He's 4 tenths down, but he's got 81% battery, so maybe he's waiting as well. Oh yeah, he did invalidate, so it looks like he's waiting and he's going to get some ERS back.
Probably hoping to see being catch on toe from the Red Bull in front of him from GP.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. So Soy Loco will not be able to set a quicker lap. Same for Villeneuve. So the people to watch currently, Hightower up 2 tenths as he heads to Cops. He is the furthest man ahead, so we will watch him. Qualifying is now complete.
Track is really wrapping up at the moment.
Absolutely.
Over 2 tanks.
Goes a little deep in the Maggots and Beckett's. Up still a 10th, but he's going to have to make up more time than that if he wants to challenge Villeneuve, let alone Soy Loco. And that is a spin from Loki and a DNF. He will not be increasing his time. Rounding the penultimate corners, Hightower. Does he have enough time gain through these final corners to challenge for P1? He does not, but he does keep his position of P3 ahead of his teammate Northern Canuck. Soy Loco is done his lap, so our next man to watch, Spider-Man fan, only 7 thousandths up on his time currently. Can he make up any kind of time through these final corners to gain maybe a position on Canuck and the other Mercedes of Hightower? He'd have to have an incredible last sector here. As he crosses the line, 3 tenths up, unfortunately does not get him a better position. The last man to watch, GP Colin, up 7 tenths.
On medium tires.
On medium tires, up 9 tenths, P4. GP Colin setting a great lap, and he is going to have an extra set of softs for the race.
Really good work for him.
The tire whisperer himself.
Hey, maybe he might be the Checo Perez from P2.
1:26.4 would be P11 and T1. Yeah, that's a pretty solid lap. Unfortunate for Vinny. Vinny looked like he had provisional pole on his one lap that he invalidated, and then he just wasn't able to set another lap.
Pretty important for Vinny, but all Canadians top 3 though.
Absolutely. So as we look at it, it's a Canadian sweep of the podium. Soy Loco, Villeneuve, and Hightower round out your top 3. And then GP Colin on the medium tire could have potentially challenged for pole position if he used the softs. He will start P4, followed by Northern Canuck, Spider-Man fan, Tilwick, LaRodgery, Vano, and Loki. And unfortunately for Vinny did not set a lap, but he looks like he's going to be very quick, so watch out for him as the race starts. He's going to probably make up a bunch of positions.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, she has an extra set of top tires. So
Exactly. So if there is a safety car at maybe the end of the race or even a little bit further from the race end, you might be able to slap those on and gain a really big pace advantage on the rest of the field.
But it will ruin those people who start on the hard, so just have
Absolutely.
in the past.
That's actually what happened in the Tier 1 race on Monday, where there was a safety car on lap 7, so the medium runners were able to slap on the hards for the rest of the race, while the hard drivers were kind of stuck in no man's land on if they stay on the hards, keep the track position, or come in early and try and hold on to mediums for 19 laps. But as we wait for the for Vinny to start the field up, I guess we can talk about predictions for the race, maybe the podium, race winner.
Honestly, my top three were probably Vilner, Soy Loco, and I don't know. Probably.
Honestly, the top 5, if you include Vinny in there, are very close.
I mean, Vinny could be up there if he starts on the mediums.
Absolutely. Or does he want to take it the long route and be on the faster tire at the end? That's the big question when you're going hard medium or medium hard. Is it, do you want to make up the positions early and be on the slower tire at the end, or do you want to be on the slower tire and still maybe make up positions and then be on the faster tire at the end to maybe challenge for the race win?
Yeah, because sometimes the thing with the hard tires is sometimes like the more wear they have, the more performance they have so fast.
Exactly. Once the hards hit around 20-30%, they actually they really start to kick in. Roll the dice on safety car timing. Well, ideally we have no safety cars and everyone who's racing will be able to finish. Because, I mean, apart from one position, everyone's going to get points tonight for showing up. So, ideally, we have no safety cars and everyone's able to finish the race nice and cleanly. Unfortunately, there is no formation lap tonight. So, once that timer starts ticking down, it's going to be race time. No formation lap to warm yourself up a little bit. So, it might catch some... Exactly, so it might catch some drivers out. As we wait for the drivers, I'm gonna take a wild prediction here. I think Vinny is gonna come back from P11, and he's probably gonna challenge for a podium. I think Soy Loco and Villeneuve, without any incidents between each other or other drivers, will probably fight for the win. And it does look like there's going to be a little bit of a battle between the Mercedes drivers, a potential Mercedes 2016 scenario, depending on how these guys race each other.
Yeah. Between the Mercedes, they can either work together as just pure rivals, or they can do some teamwork and work together to get to the field.
Absolutely. Are they going to... For example, if Northern Canuck, starting a little bit further behind his teammate of Hightower, if he starts on hards, maybe he's just going to let off Hightower a little bit, let him race on the mediums, and then once the tires start to shift, they'll maybe let each other go if one person is faster than the other. Definitely gives you a bit of an advantage when you got your teammate starting right next to you at the front. Oh, I did not get a timer down. I still got the waiting for players logo. So 5 lights, green lights. We are racing at Silverstone. A little bit of an abrupt start. Apologies for that. But it looks like everyone gets away clean. Tilwick has left the session. Hopefully he gets back in the car quick. But it does look like Soy Loco has jumped. Oh no. Soy Loco did not jump Villeneuve. Soy Loco did start in pole position. But as they all come down the start straight, looks like no incidents. Very clean start from everyone. Now we will look at the tire situation, because unfortunately we don't have the formation lap to do that. But it does look like Villeneuve and Laradri both start on soft, so it looks like Villeneuve wants to try and maybe get by Soy Loco and get some clean air at the start of the race. So he is going to have that tire advantage at the start. Looks like Soy Loco... Yeah, and looks like Soy Loco, Hightower, Canuck, GP, and Vinny are on the mediums, while Tilwick, Vano, Loki, and Spider-Man are all on the hards. So if Spider-Man is able to stay close to the front of the field, he is technically on the faster strategy at the end of the race, but we will have to see how that ends up. As we go through the field here... Oh, and we catch a spin. That's GP around. Not sure if the Red Bull driver has any damage. I don't see his wing gone. He's not going into the pits, so thankfully that is good for him. He will be able to continue racing. Unfortunate for GP. And looks like Spider-Man did jump Northern Canuck at the start of the race on the slower tire too. Villeneuve is right on the tail of Soy Loco. Once the DRS kicks in, it does look like Villeneuve will be able to challenge for the lead position, and Hightower not far behind.
Yeah, it looks like P4 and 5 are both fine.
As we have a swapping of positions, Loki and Tilwick swap positions. All three drivers around that area on the hard tire, so it does look like Loki has a little bit more extra pace in that Williams tank.
Yeah, that gap's still really relatively close between Soy Loco and Villeneuve. By that now going onto the hanger straight.
Yeah, it does look like Soy Loco gets a little bit of a better run out of Maggots and Beckett's. He does seem to gain around a couple of tenths while they exit those corners. So DRS will be enabled this lap. Will Villeneuve have good enough runs into corners to be able to keep up with Soy Loco? We will have to see Soy Loco setting provisional fastest lap of the race with a 1:31.
Because Soy Loco and Villeneuve are not that far off from each other, depending on the lap time. Because according to the game, Villeneuve's fastest lap currently is at 30.265. So
It's not much faster, but knowing Villeneuve, I've raced with him a good amount. He definitely as I say, yep. Villeneuve usually has a lot of straight line speed on his setups.
Slightly cut that apex there.
He did. That is most likely track limits. And it looks like Vinny at the back of the field had a little bit of a moment. And he is around. Ooh, a little bit around again. It doesn't look like he can get that car going quite yet. And he is now further back. An unfortunate start for Vinny, who's looked like he was going to have a pretty solid race regarding, if you disregard the qualifying position. But now he's just trying and keep that car on track. As we head back, Villeneuve has a way better exit through Maggots and Beckett's. He's going to fly by. And GP Colin has retired from the session. It looked like him and Tilwick may have gotten together, and the Red Bull driver is out on lap 3. A terrible result for GP, who looked like he was going to challenge for maybe the race win at one point.
Especially when he qualified on his medium tires. So.
Exactly, and now Villeneuve is going to have to try and defend against Soy Loco coming up to the first DRS zone.
But if these two fight, that might allow the two Mercedes to catch up.
Absolutely. It does look like Hightower is able to keep pace with these two front runners a little bit better than Canuck, who's already down almost 4 seconds. He is also trying to keep Spider-Man and Laradri off his tail. An unfortunate result for GP, but looking at the positions now, everyone who finishes this race will get points regardless of the finishing position.
Yeah, because if I was Canuck, I'd mostly just focus on keeping my tires alive and leave
Absolutely.
Spider-Man behind.
Does look
And
like just
luckily,
Soy
he just
Loco
keeps
and
battling.
Villeneuve do have just that little bit of extra pace over everyone else on the field. Hightower on the same tire as Loco, but is unable to keep pace, and LaRodri has made a move on Spider-Man, and that is a position gain for the soft runner in the Alfa Romeo. It looks like he's hunting down Northern Canuck now.
Spider-Man,
Oh my goodness, what happened with Spider-Man there?
he actually sent it.
And Spider-Man is
Sent it.
disqualified from the session for receiving too many penalties. What happened there? It looks like
Unfortunately,
he sent it from 2 corners back and
he
completely
actually
took out Northern Canuck.
Yeah, because I was writing on board from my POV and it showed he was over second, probably half a second away from the nut, and he just sent it. He had no brakes.
I am not sure what happened there. From the chat, it seems like Spider-Man says his car just didn't brake. I'm not sure what happened there, but that was a brutal incident. Regardless, I had a perfect view of that. It just Spider-Man the car just flew right into
Yeah,
Northern Canuck, and luckily for Canuck, he only lost one position.
and also no damage, wing damage. Actually. Oh, actually, the wing, yeah, it's wing damage. From
Soy Loco trying to make a move around the outside, cuts back inside. It looks like Villeneuve's tires might be starting to lose their grip a little bit. 8,000 or 800 separating the two, but he is able to keep the car ahead. Hits the curb a little bit. That's going to give Soy Loco a really good run down the start straight. Is he going to attempt to make a move?
really risky right now.
Oh, very close. Decides to back out of it. He does have plenty of DRS zones. And Northern Canucks 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is not a penalty you want to pick up. And with all this battling, Hightower is back in this race for P1. He is only a second and 3/10 down from our two frontrunners.
Yeah, the front two are really starting to run away for the rest of the field though. Just exactly like that gap to P3. 1.4 seconds now to 3 actually now. So really
As the
pushing
three
that
front
Spider-Man car
runners
down.
are approximately 7 seconds ahead from LaRodri in fourth, and the rest of the field around 30 seconds down.
Really unfortunate for Canuck to pick up that penalty in the pits though.
Absolutely, that 5-second penalty is going to be brutal if the racing
Especially
is
such early
very
on.
close at the end. Villeneuve is trying to hold on to position. Soy Loco with a better run around the outside. Keeps it clean. Soy Loco with the attempt cutback, but it does not work. He's going to have to wait. It looks like Villeneuve's very low downforce setup is able to keep him in front of Soy Loco, even in the DRS zones.
Loco had a bit of a moment.
Vinny Clips has left the session. I do believe there may be an issue with the lobby. Yeah, I read the chat, Bigga. It does seem like the lobby itself is having issues. Some people are major desyncing. I think the trouble is these top three are battling really intensely, and I'm not sure they're gonna realize that the lobby is being reset.
You never know, maybe it might help in a race.
Maybe?
I don't know, that collab was kind of a bit slightly quick, but it is.
I will see what Bigga sends in the chat around this situation, because we are 7 laps in. Spider-Man does retire from the session.
I mean, we still are early on, so it could be
Yeah.
reset.
I'm not sure what the reset is going to be, if it's 26 laps or if it's going to be maybe a 35% race and start them off where they are right now. It may, since there's the 35% option, Bigga, it may be a good idea to just take the drivers where they're at right now on lap 8, set the race to 35%, which should still be around 18, 17 laps, and then just set them into the position. Villeneuve does retire, so Villeneuve is seeing the messages that we are retiring from this session. Villeneuve was just racing for P1 and saw this session, Bigga, so hopefully Soy Loco and Hightower get the message around him. If the rest of the field starts leaving, I think, how can we communicate to them? I could attempt to send Soy and Hightower messages.
It might be best to do that, actually.
Yeah, I'll send Hightower a message saying retire.
I mean, to be honest.
I'll send Hightower a message. I will send Soy a message. Well, it looks like the session is coming to an end, so I will leave the session as well. So, while we wait for the new lobby to set up, I guess we can just wait in the main menus. Unless the people on stream want to watch me do some time trial laps. I'm not opposed to that either, while we wait for the lobby to get set up. May as well give you something to watch, right? Instead of just staring at these fancy couches and carpets.
I don't know if I actually hopped in, but
You will probably have to ask the you'll probably have to ask the drivers if they want another driver in.
either way, I'm not gonna get counted anyway, so.
Yeah, but I think it's mainly the incidents that might happen, right? I think that's always the scary thing with reserves. From when lap 8 started, Villeneuve, you were leading the race. So if we do go with the lap 8 restart with the 35%, I do believe you would be starting P1.
Hey, at least Coxie gets a chance if he wants to learn join.
That is true. If Coxie wants to start at the back of the grid, that does give him a chance to race. He was last since he retired, Jason, if you count the running drivers. But we won't do that. Looks like they're voting on if they want to do 35% or 50%.
Why are we going for 35?
Yeah, you did the right thing, Villeneuve. The stream or the race was having major issues, at least from the driver's POV. From me and Zercity's POV, the cars didn't actually look like they were doing anything out of the ordinary.
Looks like we're doing 35.
Yep, 35% should be like 19, 18 laps, I think. I should be able to just join the lobby, if I'm correct. Where is GP? GP should be in there. Oh, I have to request to join. Unfortunate, but I will wait.
Yeah, if you don't mind, once you're in, you might send me an invite, please.
Mm-hmm.
You might send me an invite.
Vinny sent me an invite, so I will invite you. Alright. Apologies for the delay for the people watching the stream, but, you know, EA product, it's bound to happen.
Yep, very faulty games.
Yep. Thankfully, 23 is at least better than 22 was.
Physics-wise.
So it looks like the racers will be using the quali order for the start of the race. So Soy Loco will start ahead of Villeneuve GP. Will start in P4, for example. So we will see. Hopefully, the new lobby is nice and fixed up for us, and we will have a nice 18-lap shootout to start this.
I mean, either way, it will technically be a full race. At
Yep.
least 25 out of 26.
It will not be a full race. It will be a 35% with the quali order because people do want to finish on time, which I understand, so... So, while we wait for everyone to get set up, everyone in chat, if you have any random ass questions you want to ask, now is the time for me and Zercity to answer them. Because once the lobby's up, we're going to be focusing on the racing. GP. Thanks for the cheer up, spot up. I mean, I wouldn't say my first race leading, considering that every Tier 2 race in PRL that I've done, I've been the only commentator, so... At least I've had some practice now. But I have Zercity with me, so I'm actually able to talk to someone and not be a lonely, lonely loner.
Yep.
Oh, is this the POV of the dive bomb?
Like he's hunting down Northern Canuck now. Oh my goodness, what happened?
Yeah, I love my reaction. Oh my goodness. That is such a... That's going to go down as one of the greatest ZOR moments of all time.
That didn't go into the highlight reel.
Yeah, that should. Put that in the highlight reel. Spot up, if you're watching, go to the Tier 2 chat and look at the incident I was talking to you about, the torpedo. It was it looked like a true open lobby incident. Alright, we're back to racing, ladies and gentlemen. 15 seconds to the countdown. As I said before, the race will start under quali order instead of where they were at lap 8. So that means Soy Loco will once again be starting at pole position. We are doing a 35% race, so 18 laps, no quali again, so everyone will start where they qualied before. And the race will have the same weather and time, so sunny, no rain, as that's what they had for the original race. Once again, no formation lap.
Everyone will get a second chance at points though, so...
Yep, everyone gets a chance at points now. And yes, whoever's watching, whoever did that bomb should be happy the race restarted. Yeah, apparently Spider-Man, due to the desync, literally could not break his car spot up. So he had to attempt a dodge and unfortunately drove straight into the side of Northern Canuck. It was quite something to see on stream. I thought that was just him missing his breaking point completely, but it was not. While we wait the 2 minutes for the drivers to get their setups back, because they will actually have to apply their setups and their race strategies, so it may actually be a little longer than usual. While we wait, Did you watch the spa race, City?
Uh, I kind of did.
Kind of did, kind of didn't.
I didn't fully finish it yet.
Apparently, I watched a couple videos, and apparently there's like some debate that Red Bull might be sandbagging, like even during the race, because apparently when you watch their telemetries, they actually back out of Eau Rouge like every lap they do, which was costing them like almost 7/10 before they made that time up and be 5/10 ahead of like the Mercedes and the Ferraris. So people are like, why were they backing out of Eau Rouge when like the Red Bull is basically just on tracks? So that was actually like, I mean, people were saying, oh, you know, maybe they were just taking it cautiously, but like Max's wet lap in quali, he was going full out in Eau Rouge, so I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, like they lost so much time, but because they were so far ahead, it didn't really look noticeable. That's the real reason why Max said he could push for a fast lap. That's why he wanted to Nui the Last Airbender. That's why he wanted to come in on like lap 35 and be like, "Hey, let's do another pit stop training," because that car had an extra like 1.5 seconds in time apparently.
Yeah, really hope it's not bad actually.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we might see that here. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know what Nui's got cooking in that brain, but man literally designs rocket ships. It's not even F1 cars at this point.
It's a Formula X car.
It's like those meme videos. Oh, no more talking. Here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are racing again at Silverstone. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. No contact into turn 1, anybody? Good stuff. Everyone's clean. You'll love to see it. Here is the tire strategy. Oh, as I say that, a spin from Hightower taps. I'm not sure who he tapped there. It looked like he lost a little bit of his end plate, not a full wing. Unfortunate for Hightower. But even though this is an 18% or an 18 lap race, the drivers will still have to perform a pit stop. And while the name is blanked on the stream for people, the Williams who is not Loki is Villeneuve. And it looks like Soy Loco and Villeneuve basically have done the exact same strategy that they started on. And Tilwick is the only brave lad who has gone on hards. So as we watch them go into Maggots and Beckett's, it looks like Villeneuve is going to want to do the exact same thing he did in the race earlier, which is get by Soy Loco at the start of the race and get that clean air. And GP Colin around a second and 7/10 behind, followed by Canuck, Tilwick, LaRodri, Spider-Man, and unfortunate for Hightower, it looks like his front right end plate is completely gone off that Mercedes. Looks like he's going to come in. Do not get a speeding penalty. As I say that, he slammed on the brakes so much that his car spun out right before the pit line. So it looks like Hightower is probably going to slam on the hards for the rest of the race. Unfortunate for him, he's going to lose a lot more time now. He's basically going to need a safety car to get back into this race. Yep, and here comes Villeneuve, that extra straight line. He's there. Soy Loco gave a little bit of room, but holds the position once again.
He's wanting to make some moves.
Yeah, he wants to get by as quick as he can.
Feeling like he got a slightly poor exit from there. I don't know.
I do not know that one. I know this one's Cops, and I know the next two are Maggots and Beckett's. And you are correct, Spot Up. Even at this track, it's even worse considering how slow the pit lane is. Hards can go 18 laps, Jason, but unfortunately they do still have to perform a pit stop. So that's why it seems like everyone's going medium soft, because they don't have those extra 6 laps or 7 laps to get that extra tire wear. But as everything is calmed down, we can look at the position changes. Oh yeah, Soy Loco got a little bit of curb there. Villeneuve's going for the move through the start straight. It looks like Soy's going to back off a little bit, and that is a pass before the DRS zones. And if Soy Loco's patient here, he can just wait for the DRS zone and try and get Villeneuve back. But as we look at the stat page, GP and Canuck all move up one position due to the unfortunate spin from Hightower. And Larodri up a good amount of positions, P3, and Spider-Man and Tilwick are just swapping positions down the front straightaway. Spider-Man gets by Tilwick pretty cleanly. It was well past before the corner was even there. So now Spider-Man and Tilwick are both in the same positions that they started in. Vano is up one position from P9, and Vinny is up 2 positions from P11. So overall, I think everyone has had a better start to the race apart from Hightower, who had his spin. But, you know, nothing's over yet. A safety car can happen. People still have to make their 27-second long pit stop here, so if Hightower can keep it up. Absolutely. Hightower is a fast driver, so I don't doubt that he has the potential to get back into those points positions. And you are correct, Spot Up. I mentioned that at the beginning of the first race that we had, where Villeneuve loves the low downforce setups. He loves having top-end speed over high downforce. And as I say that, he is almost a second clear. He is a second clear now of Soy, but Soy is going to have DRS because the DRS detection zone is a little bit further back. And a battle with GP and Canuck. But it does look like Canuck just didn't have the top end to get by GP. GP may be running another low downforce setup as well. Oh yeah, much better exit. It looks like Canuck has way better downforce than GP. He may be able to make a brave move out of Maggots and Beckett's if he gets a good launch. The front two are separated by around a second now, so we'll stay on board with GP and Canuck. It does look like GP does get Maggots and Beckett's a little bit better. Nothing too crazy. But look at GP's time. He's actually increasing the time that he had on Canuck until basically the end of the straight. And Larodri just gets by Spider-Man as well. He's back into... Actually, no, he was not ahead of... He was already ahead of Spider-Man. My mistake. He did. Vinny's having a much better race start than he had before. So now he's got his teammate of Tilwick just ahead of him, around 3 seconds up the road. We'll see if Vinny has the pace to catch his teammate. And the closest battle on track is still GP and Canuck. Canuck does have a really good run here, but look at the speed on GP's Red Bull. Canuck is barely making up time. It looks like, and GP is still able to hold the corners well. This is going to be a tough pass for Canuck. He has so much better corner exit, but he just can't make the speed on the straights. Canuck, the best thing he can do is maybe try and harbor some ERS, make GP use some of it, and just try and have an unbelievable run out of one of these DRS corners. And
yeah, because Canuck had 84% compared to Colin, nearly 40.
Yeah, there we go. So that's the big difference.
Very conservative here.
Yeah, Canuck is making GP use that battery a lot less. So until Canuck gets the run that he wants,
Yeah.
and it does look like the front runner of Villeneuve is pulling a little bit of a gap from Soy Loco, but he is on the quicker tire currently. Soy Loco is going for that faster strategy at the end of the race. So I assume Villeneuve will be in around 2-3 laps. Soy Loco will probably pit in 4 or 5, and looks like it's going to be a shootout between these two. Once again, Canuck just can't get by GP, but he is harboring ERS, so it looks like Canuck is waiting for that perfect moment to strike. We will have to see how that goes, as we have a nice camera shot through headed to Cops. A little bit of quiet commentary as we watch the battle again between GP and Canuck. Why don't we get this, let's get this garbage off screen and watch the Red Bull and Mercedes battle that we've seen so often these past couple of years. And as we come to the end of this DRS straight, Canuck's still harboring ERS and is still behind that absolute boat of a machine GP is driving. He is not letting anyone past him. The gap to Soy and Villeneuve is still increasing a little bit. It does look like Villeneuve is just liking those tires a little bit. The lobby did seem stable for the first race spot up, so I'm not... Well, sorry to sucks to hear, but I'll be able to hold on alone for the last 9 laps of the race. Thank you for joining me, my man. All right, Looks like it's just me in the cockpit now, boys. So, I just realized Soy Loco had a little bit of a moment, and he is now 5 seconds down from our man Villeneuve, but he does get by Canuck, and it does look like GP is just exiting the pit lane. Looks like he's going for an early strat. Looks like Loki did pick up a time penalty when he entered the pit lane. That is not a penalty that you want. Let's just make sure of that. Oh no, it's just a track limits penalty, so not as brutal. And here are the official position changes. Unfortunate for Hightower, just hasn't been able to get by anyone, but it looks like he is going to maybe challenge Vano as he exits the pit lane. Finally going to be able to actually see a car. So I am curious, as I say this, here comes Villeneuve into the pit lane. He's going to slap on those soft tires or the medium tires for the last part of the race, and it looks like Soy is entering the pit lane at the same time as his rival. So now Soy Loco is going to be the one on faster tires. La Rodri also enters the pit lane. No speeding penalties, so that's good to hear. So our current leader of the race is Northern Canuck, who looks like he's going to go an extra lap on those mediums and slap on the softs a lap later. Followed by Spider-Man, Tilwick, and Vinny, who still all have to complete their pit stops. Yep, big undercut. The undercut is pretty fucking... It's very good on most tracks. So it's understandable that Soy followed Villeneuve in. And it looks like GP and Soy are fighting coming out of the pit lane. This is for position. Nice and clean. Soy with the fresh softs gets that little bit extra grip. Hightower with 3 seconds added to his running time for track limits. So looking at the gap, Soy is now 4.8 seconds away from the Williams of Villeneuve. Let's see how that time goes down, because as we know, they are on different tire strategies. Coming to look at it, it looks like Soy is going to be the only one who maybe slaps on those softs. Canuck and Spider-Man are going to, most likely Vinny. But it looks like they're going long on their runs. Canuck is still racing on the mediums. Spider-Man is as well. Tilwick comes in on the hards. And Vinny is staying out on the mediums. So it looks like Tilwick is going to want to get those soft times running a little bit earlier. As we look at the gap between Villeneuve and Soy Loco, it's now down to 4.2 seconds. As the times reset themselves here. Yep, 4.2. So Soy is taking little bits of chunks out of Villeneuve's lead. Now down to 4.0 seconds. This is going to come down to the wire at the end of this race. And GP is not out of this yet. He only pitted a lap earlier than these two, and so he's net P3 at the moment, and he is in DRS of Soy, so Soy might be able to drag GP around. And as we know, GP had an absolute top-end advantage over, I think, everyone on the field except for Villeneuve. As we head back to the front of the field, is Canuck going to come in this lap? It looks like he is. We're going to watch the Mercedes enter the pit. Is there going to be a speeding penalty? It looks like he got it nice and early. Spider-Man into the pits as well. No penalty for Spider-Man. And Vinny stays out an extra lap. So Vinny is going to have the freshest tires as the race ends, but I think Vinny is pushing it a little late now. The best course of action for Vinny right now is a safety car comes out, which would completely change this race around. But it looks like he's enjoying those mediums, so no harm, no foul. And as we say that, Soy Loco set the fastest lap of the race just a second ago, and now GP set the fastest lap on medium tires. It looks like GP is feeling himself on these tires, and with the DRS on Soy, he is just being dragged around that McLaren, who's only 3.6 seconds back of the Williams now. I think he does need to start making a little bit extra ground, though. Those tires are only 2 laps old, but he's got to be making bigger inroads than what he's been making. We'll stay on board with Soy and see how much time he can make through Maggots and Beckett's, which should be the biggest time gainer that he has through the lap. If anything, if Soy has a poor Maggots and Beckett's, this might set up GP really nicely. As we look as the time ticks down, Soy is just not making up enough time. And GP has incredible top end. How much time is he going to gain? Looks like GP saving his ERS, so he only gains around 0.2. And Vinny, once again... I just realized Vinny had to pit a lap earlier, so actually, if Vinny has pace here, Vinny might be on board to win this race, depending on how fast he's going. It doesn't look like Villeneuve's making up a crazy amount of time on him. I did not notice that. This is actually a big change, but then again, Villeneuve just took off 0.5 in only 2 corners. This is going to come down to the wire here, because Soy is now only 3.2 seconds behind Villeneuve, and GP is still within DRS. I'm not sure who's going to have the advantage at the end of this race. I mean, Villeneuve does have the track position, but he still does have to get by Vinny, and I'm not sure how much downforce Vinny has. This definitely is nerve-wracking for Vinny, because he is net P1 right now. But it doesn't look... Those tires are definitely not giving him advantage on pace. Villeneuve is down to 2.9 seconds, 2.8. And with his downforce advantage, which we most likely believe he has, it's going to be a tough ask for Vinny to hold on to this position. And we say that, Vinny comes into the pits. He is going to slap on the soft tires. He doesn't look like he believed he'd be able to hold on. So he's now going for track position. He's going to slap on the softs. Where is he going to come out of? He's probably going to come out behind his teammate of Tilwick, which is where he was before he pitted. And Northern Canuck sets the fastest lap of the race. He's feeling himself on those softs. He's not too far behind from GP, only 3.4 seconds. This top 4 technically could battle for the race win here. I wouldn't count Northern Canuck out. Actually, Canuck is just making up a crazy amount of time here. It looks like GP is losing a little bit of pace on Soy. Soy's down to 2.8 seconds. He's just... I don't think he's going to make up enough time. Because once Soy's tires are going to be around equal to the mediums in approximately probably a lap or 2. And once that's over, Soy's just not going to have any opportunities to really make a move on Villeneuve until Villeneuve maybe makes a mistake. And it looks like Soy is actually harboring ERS. His light is flashing, so it looks like his high downforce setup is costing him in the straights. And it actually does look like we have a little bit of a battle for the final points position. Hightower and Vano are going at it. Unfortunately for Hightower, he does have that 3-second time penalty for track limits. And Vano is definitely, as I say that, Vano with a 3-second time penalty. Now everything's equaled up, and Vano is going to have to get by Hightower the hard way of actually getting his car past. He is on the better tire, but he doesn't look like he's making up a crazy amount of time on Hightower. Both of them are harboring ERS, so this is about as equal as you're going to get on a fight. I would say Hightower's tires are definitely in much worse shape than Vano's 5-lap mediums. I will keep an eye on those timesheets as we head back to the front of the field. And Soy Loco, it doesn't look like his gap is now slightly fading. GP is gaining on him lap by lap. Canuck only down 1.8 seconds to GP now. Oh, a little bit of a lag there. It looked like Soy went wide on our screen, but it looks like it was just a little bit of lag, and he gets back on track. And here comes GP. Look at that time go down on the straight. He didn't even have DRS on that straight, and he gained 3/10. Through the penultimate corners, it looks like Soy has gone from attempting to win this race to defending P2 from the machine of the Red Bull driven by GP. As they start lap 16, 3 laps to go, and Canuck down 1.5 seconds. Those fresh softs are definitely catching both of the drivers in front of him. Soy does gain the gap to Villeneuve of up to 3 seconds now, but don't think it's going to be enough. As we head down the rest of the field, Spider-Man has been holding P5 for most of this race, followed LaRodri in P6, and the 2 Ferraris of Tilwick and Vinny both holding the 7th and 8th position. Loki has had a little bit of a lonely race. He hasn't been able to really compete up at the top like his teammate has, but he is still in P9, and those are still points vital to a Constructors' Championship win. And Hightower does seem to be pulling a little bit further away from Vano, around 1.7 seconds. We will keep an eye on those timesheets, because Vano should still have the better tire. But I'd say, ever since the restart, the man of the day has been Villeneuve in the Williams. He started on the softs, got past Soy at the start of the race, has held the race lead ever since he got past. And it looks like, as I say this, GP is around, full wing gone. It doesn't look like he had anything happen to him apart from his own misdoing. 3-second time penalty for track limits. And I'm not sure what is happening with GP. He just crossed across the pit lane entry line. I believe his thought process is he doesn't want to lose the position to Vinny, so he's continuing, but if someone reports that, that's going to be another penalty to him. Unfortunate for GP. He was having an absolutely fantastic race, and it does look like he lost the car in the same spot that he did at the start of the first race, so it doesn't look like he's liked that corner very much. Unfortunate for the Red Bull, but now all eyes are on Northern Canuck as he is cutting down the gap to Soy Loco, 10th by 10th through each corner. That 2 extra lap gain that he held off a little bit, he didn't do the undercut like Soy Loco, and that might hurt Soy at the end of the race. Both of them are harboring ERS, but Soy is able to pull down 2/10 every corner he enters. How much time will Canuck make up through this corner? Almost a full 10th. This is going to come down to the wire as Villeneuve is about to cross the start-finish line to start the final lap of the race. Canuck is going to have to push very hard here. He's down to under a second. Those tires are flying for that Mercedes machine as he cuts down. He's not going to have the first DRS zone against Soy Loco. He was just a little bit too late. Very good corner entry, though. Gains almost 2/10 because of that. You saw how tight he was to the curb. He is chasing down that McLaren machine, and last time we saw, it didn't look like Soy Loco was having much ERS help either. Down to 6/10 as they enter. As we fly down to Cobbs, now down to 4/10, 5/10. It's all going to come down to probably the final DRS straight. How much time can Canuck make up through Kops and Maggots and Beckett's? A yellow flag. It looks like Vano spins before the start entry or the start finish line. Canuck's going to have an amazing entry. Doesn't seem like it's good enough. Looks like Soy is using all the battery, and Canuck is out of fuel. With no safety car, Canuck is out of fuel, and this gives Spider-Man a chance to maybe snag a podium position. 3 seconds, 3.4, he's gonna pass Canuck. Canuck gets too conservative, and Canuck gets a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Spider-Man is gonna steal the podium position at the end of the race. And with the corner cutting penalty on Canuck, he's going to lose out to LaRodri, and he's going to lose out to Tilwick. What a crazy end to the race. It looked like Canuck was maybe going to challenge Soy for P2, and his car just ran out of gas. Unbelievable. I'm not sure what happened with the corner cut with Canuck. I'm not sure if he actually completely cut the corner or if he was just trying to... I'm not sure what happened. He might be able to refute that penalty. Not sure what is going to happen with that, but if that 10-second time penalty sticks, he is going to lose P4. And I'm not sure what happened to LaRodri, because LaRodri passed Canuck at the start, finished straight, but now he's in P10. I'm not sure what happened there. LaRodri might be able to contest that, because he was on the lead lap. He was racing for that position, so I'm not sure what happened there. Driver of the day, Vinny Sips. Wow, that ending was actually way more intense than I thought it was going to be. An amazing race from our Williams driver of Villeneuve. He just took it to the rest of the field. He did what he had to do. He got past Soy at the start of the race. And that is win numero uno for the Williams driver in ZOR's Season 10, Round 1. Soy comes home, finishes P2, still had amazing pace, but was unable to catch the Williams driver. And Spider-Man at the end of the race with Canuck's unfortunate loss of fuel. That is a sneaky podium for the Aston Martin driver. And these are your final results. Spider-Man coming from 6th on the grid to take the podium position away from Canuck. Tilwick jumps up from P7 to P4. Great result for him. Canuck technically finishes where he starts, but he did get fastest lap. Vinny Clips going from P11 to Vinny Sips. I'm not going to make that mistake that everyone else made. Vinny Sips going from P11 to P6. GP having an unfortunate spin at the end of the race. It looked like he was on for podium position. Loki gets going from P10 to P8, and Hightower, Vano, and LaRodri all end up losing valuable positions. Mainly Hightower going from starting P3 all the way down to P9. He had his unfortunate spin at the direct start of the race. That costed him. He still managed to climb into the points, though. And that is ZOR. Season 10, Round 1 at Great Britain. Officially over. But stick around, because we should have some interviews. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, Villeneuve. I mean, Villeneuve, if you want, you can speak in French. I'm Canadian. I'm French-Canadian, so I'll be able to understand you and just respond in English to the rest of the chat. Spider-Man! How goes it, my man?
Hello, hello, hello.
Just waiting for the rest of the podium to hop in here. I will invite Villeneuve, and I will invite Soy if they wish to join the session.
Yep.
But while we wait for them, it didn't look like you were on for a podium position today, my friend.
Oh, it definitely did not. I didn't expect one. Even when Canucks caused the yellow flag in Sector 3 at the end, I just thought he like went off a bit, but I didn't expect him to be low fuel mode. That was an easy overtake.
Yeah, he underfueled a little bit. It looked like he was going to challenge Soy for P2, and then all of a sudden he just started dropping crazy time, and like that you just swooped in and took P3 away from him. Hey, I mean, any way to get a podium.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is my first podium too in league racing.
Really? Well, I'm sure. I mean, you still had very good pace today, so I don't doubt that it'll be your last.
Well, I hope not.
I will attempt to. What position did you qualify in? Was it P6?
Yes, P6.
P6 to P3 is a pretty big jump.
Yeah, I mean, in all of the chaos in Lab 1, I lost a couple of places, I think.
Was Hightower the one who spun into you?
Yeah, he didn't spin into me. So
He kind of just
spun in front of me,
okay.
yeah, and like kind of
tapped you.
was just sideways in front of me, and
yeah. Okay, so you were the car that I saw him kind of like, just kind of end up blocking because of his little moment.
Yep.
I see. So I'm not sure because I know Soy is in this chat already. I'm not sure if he's actually gonna hop in. I added Villeneuve if you wanted to join. But yeah, it should be a fun race to rewatch Villeneuve. You had some fun battles with Soy there. You'll just have to you may as well just ignore the first race though, because I mean, you know, because dude, the stream caught that. It was actually, I was like, what in the world just happened? Did Spider-Man just open lobby dive bomb Canuck there? What happened? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd be lying if I saying I wasn't flabbergasted. It was. Thankfully, yeah, thankfully thankfully that race didn't count because I mean, if that was like an actual moment, that would have been a very big penalty. Oh, it appears that we apparently the chat can't hear you, Spider-Man. So you may have you may not be sharing your voice, I think is the setting.
Okay. What about now?
I will ask the chat.
Hello, chat.
Can you hear him now, chat? Oh, there we go. Now you're good.
Yay.
Well, we may as well keep chatting because I think Villeneuve wants to hop in.
Ooh, fun.
Maybe, possibly. Not sure.
Well, if we're gonna keep chatting, I might as well boast about my. I don't remember who it was against, and I don't know if you got it on the stream, but I did do an overtake out of turn, 1, 2, 3, 4? Out of turn, 4 into the DRS zone, where I went on the inside. I don't know if it was the marbles or just low rear grip.
I think I caught the end of that overtake. I'm not 100% sure. Was it early in the race?
Yeah, it was on the first stint. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I might have missed it. I try and keep eyes on position changes when they happen.
Yeah.
So I think I might have caught the end of it.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that, and the only reason I was able to do that overtake and not just bin it was because they changed the controller handling, so now you can actually like
Yeah, you can actually recover.
cut across. Yeah, oh,
You can
it's
actually
so much
recover the
better.
car. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you. I've talked to a bunch of people, but the reaction time actually feels like it actually like the car turns when you tell it to turn, and it's not like slightly delayed.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
So like doing maggots and Beckett's, for example, is so much better on controller.
Yeah, it's. I need to mess around with like the dead zone and stuff because I think it's a little too much for me. I don't know if I'm just used to the dead controller.
That's basically what I had at the start. Like at the start
Yeah.
of the race, I was like, or at the start of the season, I was like, oh damn, this might be like too quick for me, because I was so used to F122. But now I'm used to it. So I think if you just drive it a little bit more, you'll get used to it.
Yep.
All right. It doesn't look like Villeneuve's going to hop in. Unfortunate. I wanted to talk to my fellow French Canadian, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. So once again, Spider-Man, congrats on your sneaky little podium at the end.
Thank
And congrats to Soy and Villeneuve for their P2 and P1 respectively. This has been ZOR. Oh, does Villeneuve want to hop in? How do I hop in? Villeneuve, I added you to the party chat. The party chat should just be called ZOR Comms. So if you look through your party settings, there should be a chat that has me and Spider-Man in it currently. And you should be able to just join.
There we go.
Hey, there he is. There's the man of the hour.
Is this working?
It is Mr. Villeneuve.
Yep.
P1, my man. How are we feeling?
Weird. It's the first one.
First one. I don't think it's going to be the last one.
I hope not, but I wasn't expecting.
I mean, it looked like you and Soy were going to have a really close battle for basically the whole race, but you managed to pull some really good gaps at the start of the race on the soft tire, and then at the end of the race,
On the pit too.
yeah, you jumped in. You jumped in earlier. You put on the mediums earlier to try and maybe get an undercut, and I think he was forced to follow you at that point.
Yeah, he finished with soft. So,
Yeah, he was making up time. He just wasn't making up as much time as he needed to.
I was always checking on the left corner for the time, and I was trying to
And
3 seconds.
of course, the big question: how low were your wings? Because knowing you love your low downforce setups.
Do I?
I think you do.
I think you definitely do.
It wasn't that bad. 24.18.
Oh, okay, so that's not as bad as I thought. I think
No. I didn't want to do it lower because
okay, that's fair.
high speed, but I needed the front downforce.
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. I think people around you might have been running like higher downforce then.
Yes,
'Cause I ran.
I was losing on the straight a bit, so I had to compensate in the curve.
Oh, okay, interesting. I thought it looked like you were gaining a bunch of time on the straights from when I was keeping
That's
up
when
with your
I was
delta.
Using ERS.
Ah, okay, makes sense.
So gain a little bit.
Because I remember when we checked on, I think we only ended up checking at the first race, but I know at the first race you were using actually like a good amount of ERS to try and stay in front of Soy Loco.
When before we started.
Yeah, like the race before we started, it looked like I think on lap. Oh, a little bit of mic issues there, but we're fine.
I guess it's you, not me.
Yeah, because it looked like I think on lap like 4 or 5 when we checked in on your battle with Soy, it was like you were at 40% and he was at 80%. So it looked like you might have been being forced to use it a little bit more, but it looks like the 18 lap race really suited you.
I managed it better.
Yeah, you managed it better. But yeah, thank you for hopping in. It's always nice to at least talk to the race winner in the interviews. I don't expect it to be your last one. I expect to see you here pretty often. So
At least on the podium.
at least I'm sure you'll be having good battles with players like Soy, Toblerone,
Yeah, I have to
Hightower,
say,
Canuck.
it was pretty clean. I love it when it's clean like that.
Yeah,
Nice battles.
Yeah, definitely.
a lot of leagues can't boast the same type of cleanness as ZOR. ZOR may not be perfect, but the driving is always very clean.
Yep.
So once again, thank you for Spider-Man and Vilna for joining me in the interviews. Once again, congrats to Soy on his P2, unable to join us this time, but hopefully we'll get to hear him next time. That has been Gourd Sauce for Zenith Online Racing Tier 2, Round 1 at Great Britain. We will be back next week. Same time, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let me just take a look at the next track.
Spain?
Spain. We'll be moving to the Spanish countryside as we take on that circuit. So once again, thank you very much, and we will see you all next week.